Children to ask questions as well. Do spare some time for daily conversation. Conversation means one to one talk, गुफ्तगू करना, बातचीत करना. Conversation. Now it's very important. I have also observed that throughout our student life, we have only learned to answer the questions. We hardly encourage our children to ask questions from us as well. So it's very important that on and off, if we enable children and we prepare them or teach them to ask question as well. Like simple, we can start from simple question, what is this? Once you have asked from your child, what is this? And the answer the child has given is, this is a marker. Next time, you ask your child to ask you the question.
What is this?
This is a marker. So it's very important, dear listeners, that we also give practice to our children from the smaller level to ask questions so that by the time they are growing up, they are not only good at only answering the questions, but they are also able to ask questions. And it's also very important to be giving them some time on the daily basis for conversation. Now, what do I mean by conversation? It is not the questions out of the lessons you are teaching, but they are day-to-day questions about them. What is your name? What is your father's name? What is your mother's name? What is your favorite color? How many brothers and sisters do you have? What does your father do? Do you like coming to school? What school do you read in? So such sort of daily life conversation which we use while talking to each other in our day-to-day life, that sort of conversation must be done with the children. I have seen in many of the schools in the first period, teachers spend 5 to 10 minutes doing this conversation activity with the students. So it's really important and it really helps children to learn language. Correct children mistakes repeatedly and tactfully without discouraging them. This point is crucial in the sense that when the children are there learning this language, or anybody, even I have found adults feeling very embarrassed if they say something wrong and then it is objected or they are made fun afterwards by the listeners. Therefore, it is our duty to correct our children or anybody whom we are teaching English language in a very respectful and tactful way. Example can be, one of my friends was sharing with me the other day that whenever his daughter has to talk about her favorite fruit, she says, I like apple, no. Now it is understood the parents really enjoy a child saying in that way, but then I suggested him it's better in a very tactful way you repeat her sentence in the correct way. Okay child, you do not like apple. Yes, my daughter does not like apple. So each time when the child says, I like apple, no, the parent or the teacher can then repeat that wrong sentence in the proper meaningful sentence. Okay, you do not like apple. So next time you will see, after the repetition of the corrected sentences in the day-to-day conversation, our children will be listening to the correct ones and then they will be using the correct expression in their conversation. Next very important point is motivate children to speak on any topic of their choice in turn or at time shout aloud. In the morning, being a teacher, I would always do that if there are 48 children in my class. So I tell them that everybody will get a chance in the morning before the first period actually begins to say a few sentences about the topic of their choice. So every day I am able always to listen to 2 to 3 children before I start my lesson. I ask them to come front and whatever their topic is to tell, like let's say the child has chosen the topic regularity. Huh? So then the child will come front and will say, my topic for today is regularity. Regularity means to be regular in your work. I come to school every day and I am a regular student. We all should be punctual and regular to our school if we want to be study well or if we want to be study hard. Enough these 5 or 6 sentences if the child speaks or in turns on the daily basis. The others are listening and then getting the new ideas and the new words and the new sentences to describe any topic. Then if there is no time to ask everybody to come and say a few sentences about the topic of their choice, they can also be asked to shout that aloud. Means whenever they are alone at home, it's very important tip that whenever you are alone at home, you just shout aloud by yourself whatever practice you have to do. You may stand in front of the mirror and then see yourself discussing or talking about on some topic. Believe me, this activity will actually give you an opportunity to see your own self while speaking the language. Always give model example. Sometimes we only tell children to do this and this and off we go. As I am giving you the example of each point, so it is very important for the instructors, for the parents, for the teachers or anybody who is teaching the language to always give one model example to the listeners so that they are clear, because the more you are clear in your instructions being teachers, being parents, the more results you will see of your activity with the students, because when they understand well, they will definitely be making less mistakes. So it's very important to do any new thing with the children, first to give them the model example. Encourage attentive listening through creative activities, because the natural way of learning some language is listening, speaking, reading and then writing. As you can see here on the wall as well, these are the 4 basic skills of learning language. And the natural way of learning language is, the first one is listening, then speaking, then reading and then writing. But unfortunately, in our education system, we emphasize mostly this writing, and therefore our children are not able to be good at in any language and especially the English language, because the natural way of learning that language is not encouraged or is not practiced. So whenever you are creating an environment in which children are listening to the English language most of the time, how can you expect them that they will be speaking in English? So how can you create such an environment? You can be doing model reading of the story books for your children. You can read the story and you can ask them to listen to you carefully, and afterwards the questions can be asked out of that story to see how well have your children listened to you. They can be also encouraged to listen to the English cartoons, the English poems, and then the chants can also be used. In my previous video, I have explained what are the chants. They are actually the rhythmic pattern, like once upon a time there were 3 bears. Cha, cha, cha. The mama and the baba and the baby bear. Cha, cha, cha. So this is actually the rhythmic pattern that I have now given to a story, The Three Bear and a girl, I guess. Is that the story? Yeah, I think that's the story. So through these creative listening activities, we can always give our children practice to listen to the English language most of the time and then to be repeating whatever they have heard. The last very important point is encourage interactive speaking skills. Interactive speaking skills mean where children have to interact among themselves or with each other to practice speaking English. So interactive speaking skills are very crucial if we want to make our children to speak English language. How? Through creative learning activities, like we can ask them to discuss something in English in pair. We can divide them in small groups and we can give them some topic and we can ask them to discuss or to say 2-3 sentences about any object in that group, or we can ask them to do some sort of role plays with small dialogues, or it can be simple presentation as well, like prepare a presentation on any object around them and then to come in front of the class and then present their presentation. Thank you very much, dear listeners and viewers. I know today's videos has become little longer, but these tips, believe me, if you are really going to listen to me till the end of this video, it is really going to be very effective for all the parents and the teachers who really want their children to be good at English language. If beside them you have any other idea, you can always share with me and we can be together working for the good of our children. Till my next video, God bless you. Take great care of yourself. Bye-bye.